number one way for roofing contractors to generate high quality leads. The method I'm about to share with you is the best way for roofing contractors to generate high quality leads that turn into customers and grow your business fast. Hi, my name is Jim Sullivan with Roofer Marketing Strategies, and what you're about to learn is what most roofing contractors are doing to generate leads and why it's not working as well as it used to, and how you can generate 4 times as many leads in the next week using this same strategy. Now, if you had to generate high quality leads for your business in 1 week or less, what would you do? Now here's what some roofers are doing. They're trying print ads, but the problem with print ads is it's an outdated method. They go stale pretty quickly. It's the same readership that are checking out the magazines or the newspapers, and it's a low return on investment. You could try postcards, and postcards will get you some leads, but they're not as effective as they used to be, and it's also a low return on investment. Billboard ads will also get you some leads, but it's more for branding and getting your name out there. It's very expensive, and once again, it's the same prospects that are driving by your billboards day after day. You could try radio and TV, but that's the most expensive and the lowest return on investment. Now, it is good for branding and getting people to know your business name, but once again, it's the same audience all the time that is either watching the TV show or listening to the radio program. Now here's how smart roofing contractors are generating leads. They're using Google because it's the fastest way to generate internet leads. And when I say internet leads, no, I'm not talking about search engine optimization. Now, what's the biggest difference between Google and the other lead generation methods that we just talked about? Well, with print ads and postcards, TV, radio, and billboards, those are all forms of interruption advertising, where you're trying to capture the prospect's attention, that's a person that's not looking for your service at that time. But with Google, when a prospect is on Google, they're a red-hot lead that is searching for, finding, and hopefully contacting you. They've already taken action, and they're much closer to becoming a customer than someone you have to interrupt and grab their attention with an ad. That's why Google advertising is the number one way to generate high-quality leads in 1 week or less, where you can be at the top of a Google search page for a number of keywords. And again, I'm not talking about SEO. SEO may be a good long-term investment for your business, but there are no guarantees that you'll get a top 5 ranking on page 1. And if you need to get in the top 5 slots on a Google search page in order for SEO to work for you, but there are 5 or more roofing contractors or directory listings in your market that have been doing SEO for years, then how are you going to leapfrog all your competitors to get one of those top 5 slots? It's very unlikely that that's going to happen for you. But with Google AdWords, it's pay-per-click advertising, also called PPC, where you pay only when somebody clicks on your ads. Now, you probably know this already, but just in case you don't, I do want to share this with you. The paid ads appear when you do a search, and here I did a search for roofing contractors, and the paid ads appear in these top 3 slots here, and they also appear on the far right column. Then below that, and actually, now that I'm looking at it, these are actually Google Places ads. So below the Google Places ads, not even appearing on our screen, are the organic listings. So if you're relying just on search engine optimization to work for you, a lot of times you're way down the bottom of the page. But again, these are the paid ads. And one thing you should notice too about the paid ads, back probably about 3 years ago, perhaps a little more, but Google used to have the background for the paid ads. It used to be a yellow background, so you could the searcher, if you will, could definitely tell the difference between a paid ad and an organic listing. But now what they've done is they've removed that background, so all the background for everything is white. It makes the paid ads blend in a little bit more with the organic ads. And the reason, of course, that Google did that is because Google makes money when you click on the ad. So they want to have the paid ads blend in a little bit more and have more people clicking on the ads. Now, you may be one of those people that think that very few prospects are going to click on the Google ads, but you're not correct because here are the facts. And I don't have 2015 for you, but Google gets more than 90% of their income from the Google advertising, the pay-per-click advertising. So they are making probably close to, at this point, $70 billion in annual revenue from the paid ads. So if you think people aren't clicking on the paid ads, again, that's not correct, because obviously people are, or else Google would be making all this income. Now, The reality is, though, you only need 2 to 3% of the people to click on your ad. That's called a click-through rate, CTR, to make Google AdWords profitable for your business. So why don't more roofing contractors have success with Google AdWords? Well, there are 5 reasons why most campaigns fail. And let me discuss each one with you. Poor campaign setup, bad ads with a low click-through rate, no landing page, no conversion tracking, and no retargeting, which is also called remarketing. And again, I'm going to discuss each one. As far as poor campaign setup, one mistake that people make and where their campaigns fail is they start off wrong by choosing the beginner's interface instead of the advanced interface. And with the beginner's interface, you're stuck with a lot of Google's default settings, and they won't even show you that as an option. So you want to choose the advanced interface. With the default settings, Google, as you might imagine, is running their own business for profit. So what they want to do is they want to get as many people clicking on the ads as possible. So they will set their default settings to work for Google as opposed to working for you. So one of those default settings is letting Google automatically bid your keywords. Now you have a choice here. You can see where the arrow is. That's the default setting. AdWords will set my bids to help maximize clicks within my target budget. Again, that sounds great, but what you want to do is click on the one above that says I'll manually set my bid for clicks. And the reason you want to do that is so you can control the bidding for each keyword. It means a lot to you as far as return on investment and how much you're paying for clicks. You know, why let the fox guard the hen house, if you will? Why let Google determine how much you're going to pay? You want to determine, or at least have a hand in how much you're going to pay, so you want to manually set your bids for clicks. Another poor campaign setup item is choosing both search and display network. Now, you probably know what search is. Search is on Google search. When you go to google.com, type something into the search box, what you want to search for, and then clicking the button or hitting enter, and it takes you to the search page with a whole bunch of listings for what you were searching for. Display network is something entirely different. You want the search network, obviously, but the display network is when you go to another website that takes display network advertising. It shows your ad, and Google does this somewhat indiscriminately. So you don't want your roofing ad to appear to someone who's really not a prospect who clicks on it just for yucks, because you're paying for that. So you want to start out your campaign just doing search and not doing display network. The problem is that Google will default to the standard setting that says keywords targeted text ads for search network with display select. That means they're going to show display network advertising. You want to choose the drop-down box and choose search network only. Again, you can go through a lot of money and a lot of clicks, getting bad clicks, starting with display network. Another reason Google AdWords campaigns fail is choosing the wrong location setting. And what Google will do is they will default to people in searching for or viewing pages about my targeted location, and they'll say that's recommended. So if, for instance, you're a roofing contractor in Cleveland, that means if you go with the default setting, your ad will show up all over the country. And what will happen then is somebody in Dallas or Miami or Chicago or wherever will click on your ad almost by mistake because it's listed there with their regular local ads. A lot of times they have no way of knowing until they click on the ad that you are a roofing contractor in Cleveland, and they will click on the ad, and that will in fact cost you money because it's a bad click. They're not a legitimate prospect. Now, they could be somebody, for instance, on business or visiting relatives or on vacation and actually be searching for a roofing company in Cleveland, but you don't want your ad showing up where somebody's going to potentially give you some bad clicks. So to start out, what you want to do is you want to set it up here. Right now it's set for 20-mile radius, but you can set it up either as a radius or list the towns, cities, counties, whatever, and define your target market, and then click on or select, away from the default, select people in my targeted location only. Another reason from as far as poor campaign setup and why Google AdWords campaigns fail is running your campaign 24/7. Simply put, you only want your ads to show during a time when somebody can answer the phone, because the majority of the times they contact you from your ad is going to be via phone. So if you don't have somebody there, only show you don't want your ads to run. So you can get in the setting and select the exact hours that your ads are going to show, on exact days of the week too. So you can go, for instance, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, whatever your operating hours are. So you need to make sure that happens to avoid some bad. The second category is bad ads, and by bad ads I mean ads not written by a professional with poor click-through rates, and they don't split test the ads. What they do is they write 1 or 2 ads and then they never change them. You know, we used to call that the set it and forget it mentality. I set up the campaign, I wrote my ads, now it does whatever it does. And what you want to do is you want to split test your ads, and by that is you want to write at least 2 ads and then pit them against each other, almost like a little competition, if you will. Pit them against each other and do it for a week, probably 2 weeks to get some good data. And then after the end of that 2 weeks, what you want to do is check your results, and the ads that the 2 ad that is not working as well, you take that out and replace it with a second ad, and you do the competition all over again. And what happens is you are then always improving and getting the best ad and improving your results, getting better ROI, more clicks hopefully, and more conversions. I want to give you an example of 2 different ads and show you a number of items on here. So I want to start off by saying these are 2 different roofing companies from 2 different markets, but I put them together just to show you a number of different items. So if you can indulge me on that. I want to start with the headlines for the ads. And it's been tested in a number of ways. If you can get the city you're located in, now I know that's not always an opportunity for you. You might have a large market, you might not have some large cities in your market, but if you can, getting the name of the city in your ad, in this case Roofing Albany, in your ad will increase the number of clicks you get. Just by the fact that if I'm a residential customer in Albany, I'm going to see, okay, this is a local roofing company. I'll check them out. The top ad does not do that. Now, in their defense, they're a much larger company, so it's probably a little harder for them to pinpoint a specific city. There is a way actually to do that, but for the purposes here, I'm not going to get into that. But the next line, what happens in the next line, Google has something called display URL. And what that means is they let you, now you've got to have whatever your web page or landing page is, whatever, you've got to have that correct address. But after that slash, you can write anything you want there. So this, I'm not convinced that roofing company is the best thing to write there, but that you've got to think of this area as potential advertising space. So they could have potentially written free estimates or something about financing or just about anything that helps build the case for choosing them. You'll see the top ad with that advertising space, they didn't do anything with it. So you really need to add that in. The other thing I want to mention on this line is something called a call extension, and that's essentially your phone number. So you've got to insert your phone number, and you'll see it's not on the top ad, and it is in this ad. The great thing about having your phone number on your ad is that, as you can imagine, sometimes they'll read through your ad, have enough information, say, I'm going to give these guys a call. And that's great because they didn't click on your ad and you didn't pay for the click, but you got the lead anyway. So that's awesome when that happens. So you've got to have your call extension included as well. Then the next 2 lines are pretty similar, and I won't read them. You can read them on the screen. I do like what they've done on the top ad where they're talking about a free estimate. That's never mentioned in this ad. So I do like that second line But again, that's the end of their ad. It's a 3-line ad versus a 6-line ad. The next line for the bottom ad, they've added something called call-out extensions. So that lets you build a little bit of a case for choosing your ad and choosing your company, if you will. So they put locally owned, they put their service region, and the fact that they specialize in residential roofing. So that's great when you can do that. Again, it makes the ad larger and builds a case for you, as does the next line, and those are site link extensions. And site links, there are actual links that you can click to and go to different parts of the web page or a landing page, which we'll get into in just a minute. And then the bottom line is the location extension, once more, essentially the address. And you've got to have, you see this icon here, that's a Google Places icon. So you've got to sign up for Google Places, but it's free. And that's a determining factor for some prospects as well, if they can see that you're a local company. So I want to mention too that Google will arbitrarily remove a lot of the things I just talked about, the call extensions, the call outs, the site link extensions, even location extensions. They will arbitrarily remove them from your ads sometimes. So it is possible, I should say, that this top ad in fact had all those things and they're included on their regular ad but not included here. But just for purposes of this example, I wanted to show you all the things that you need to add to your Google AdWords ads that a lot of people don't do, that will increase the performance of your ad. Once more, if somebody's looking at these two options, the bottom ad is going to substantially outperform the top ad, primarily because it's bigger and it builds a better case for choosing that company and for clicking on the ad. Now, here's one of the biggest things that people do wrong, and it's not having a landing page. And what they do is they send prospects to their website, their main website, instead of a high converting landing page. And the problem is that websites have too much information and it distracts prospects. This is a typical website. I'm sure it looks probably similar to yours as well. And you'll see all the options from residential, commercial, services, etc. Now, a prospect, when you run a Google AdWords campaign, what you want to do is you want to send them to a page that gives them limited choices, because they're really only there, and they should be only there for one thing: qualifying you enough to make sure that you're a good enough company for them to contact, and then giving them a way for them to contact you. The problem, if you send them to away from instead of a landing page, a one-page website, with those goals in mind, if you send them to your website, your main website, what will happen is they'll start clicking around and checking some stuff, and now they're, I'll check out a few testimonials. Oh, okay, these guys are good. Now I'll check out the gallery. Now I'm looking at different roofs. Now I'm thinking, well, maybe what was that last one I looked at, that last roofing contractor? Did they offer the same roof? And they're distracted and they go somewhere else. Now I'm saying this not as a matter of opinion, but as a quantifiable fact. We have done tests, we've split tests with landing pages versus websites, and we know for a fact that when you send them to a landing page versus a website, you'll get more clicks, you'll get higher conversions, and you'll make more money. So that's something that the majority of the people running Google AdWords campaigns do, and it's one of the biggest reasons why their campaigns fail. So another is no conversion tracking. And conversions are, from a marketing standpoint, they're completed forms and calls that come in for you. So that's a conversion. But most campaign managers don't track conversion, or they'll track the conversions on the ads, but they won't track the conversions on the keywords. And what you want to do, you need to do both to maximize both your control your budget and maximize your profit. You could have, as an example, you could have one keyword that is getting a ton of clicks but very low conversion rate, and one keyword that's the exact opposite, that's not getting quite as many clicks and maybe even very few clicks, but when they do get a click, it's very high converting. So what you want to do is you want to be able to get in and adjust the bids on those accordingly to, once more, control your budget and maximize your profit. The final mistake, number 5, and the reasons that Google AdWords campaigns fail is not going with retargeting ads. Now, retargeting is also called remarketing, and that's when a prospect visits your website or hopefully your landing page, they're tagged with a cookie. The webmaster, if you will insert a code that when a person goes to again your landing page or your website, they'll get tagged. So then when they go to other sites that do that type of advertising or allow that type of advertising, they'll see your ad. Now, here's a couple of examples from my own searches. I was looking at a number of roofing websites, and I was also looking at Jeep Grand Cherokee. So when I went to another website, just bopping around doing what you normally do when you search on the internet, up pop their ads. Now, this is a banner ad, and these are both image ads, a banner ad and a side ad that's an image ad. And that happened because I went to their websites. And here's an example of a text ad. So with retargeting, the reason you want to run retargeting campaigns, remarketing campaigns, is because it's a very high conversion and a very low cost. It can cost you 10 times less or even less money than that. Because if you think about it, if somebody went to your roofing website, checked around and didn't contact you for some reason, maybe they got distracted, maybe they were looking at other stuff, and now they're going about their life, and for weeks, hours, days, weeks, even months later, your ad keeps popping up. When they do decide to click on that ad, it's going to cost you so much less, but now they're coming back. And if they're coming back to you a second time, those people are more committed and are going to convert higher than a person who would just normally click on your ad. So everybody should be running retargeting campaigns. Again, some people call them remarketing campaigns. But I've looked at hundreds of roofing websites, literally within the last few months, and only 2 roofers are using this strategy. So this is a huge opportunity for you. And again, another reason why the return on investment isn't where you might want it, and why many Google AdWords campaigns are failing. So what we also see is a typical AdWords setup. It's a basic campaign set up by an entry-level employee at a large company. They bring them in, they pay them about $30,000 a year. They teach them how to set up a campaign, but the problem is these people don't know anything about high-converting landing pages and sending them there rather than websites. They don't know how to write great ads. They don't split test the ads. They don't optimize campaigns. They don't do any of that. What they do is they just know how to set up a campaign. So with a great landing page, you can instantly double the number of leads and return on investment just by having a high converting landing page. And most roofers aren't even familiar with landing pages or this concept. Also, with great ads, retargeting, and conversion tracking, you can instantly double your number of leads and ROI. And Google, in fact, rewards those with a high click-through rate, CTR, by charging you less per click. So that's another advantage. It's the difference between successful campaigns and failed campaigns. Getting twice as many leads. It's the difference between successful campaigns and failed campaigns. Getting twice as many clicks on your ads and twice as many of those people contacting you via your landing page. That means you get 4 times as many leads. It's also the difference between a huge growth of your business and being this guy saying, hey, you know what, I tried Google AdWords, but that stuff just doesn't work. Well, actually it does work, but in his case, what he did was he had poor campaign setup. He used a lot of Google's default settings. He wrote bad ads. He didn't split test his ads. He sent them prospects to his website rather than to a high converting landing page. He didn't use conversion tracking, or at very least didn't track conversions by keyword. And he also didn't do retargeting, remarketing to bring people back to him. So that's why his Google AdWords campaign didn't work for him. The fact is that Google is the new Yellow Pages and will be the #1 way for roofing contractors to generate leads for a long, long time. So if you're not generating as many leads from Google as possible, you're missing out to your competitors. There are only so many people searching in your market for roofing contractors, and if your competitors are running Google AdWords and they're doing a good job of it, and you're either doing a poor job or not running Google AdWords at all, you're missing out to your competitors. Now, do you want to be a roofing contractor who struggles to generate new leads, or do you want to be a roofing contractor who builds a large, successful business because you're using Google AdWords to generate a steady flow of new customers? Here's how we can help you achieve that. We already have proven high-converting landing pages for roofing contractors and high-converting campaign ads. And we know the exact keywords to use, plus some tricks we've learned to optimize your campaign. That's why we're making this special offer. We'll create a free landing page for you, design it, create it, and we'll also give you free domain and free hosting. And we'll plug in our proven ads and keywords to drive traffic to your new landing page. We'll waive our setup fee of $997 and give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. This lets you test drive our system and prove to yourself that it works before you invest major dollars. You should know that we can cap the daily spend and pause your campaign, stop your campaign, if you will, per your recommendation. So there's no risk that we're gonna run wild and spend, tons and tons of your money. And again, you're only paying when somebody clicks on your ad, so there's limited risk to try us. Google, by the way, also runs promotions. They'll give you anywhere between $50 and $100 if you're setting up, if you haven't done Google AdWords before and you're trying it out for the first time. You're essentially getting, let's say it's $75. After you get $25 worth of clicks, you'll end up getting the additional $75. So you're getting $100 worth of clicks for $25. So that's a pretty cool deal from Google that also limits your risk and lets you try it out. But you should know that we grant the exclusive rights to our Google AdWords lead generation and conversion system to just one roofing contractor per market. So if one of your competitors chooses us first, then we won't be able to work with you. You should also know that our fees are tied to your Google AdWords success, so it's in our best interest to make our system work for you. Now, you can live in the past and avoid Google AdWords, or you can do it yourself and spend thousands of dollars trying to get it right, or you can hire us to do all the work for you so you can focus on running your roofing business. To take the next step, or if you just simply have a few questions, you can contact me, Jim Sullivan, at jim@roofermarketingstrategies.com, or give me a call at 1-800-584-0936. Thanks for watching this video. If I can help you grow your business, just let me know.